So to all you sororities and fraternities and corporate people that try to present yourself as superior with a similar logic. Okay. First of all, wearing a suit, okay, is a sign of evil, but it only really is truly overkill when you see normal using the scale of the construct. If I see a normal white guy walking down the street with a suit, or a normal token minority, what have you, okay, using the scale of the system, mind you, not moral is normal, but common, right? Common, really, not normal. I think he's a fucking pushover, bitch ass motherfucker. Okay? Now, you don't have to be a thug or something to understand that being a coward is not superior. The word coward is even a crowd, scrabbled. A crowd. A crow D. They're the walking dead. They didn't have the heart, they didn't have the life, they didn't have the truth, they didn't have the way. The way, the truth, and the life. The moral fortitude, the moral intelligence, the true intelligence, the true wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So it's doing the right thing is part of wisdom. They weren't wise enough to do the right thing. So how could they be superior to someone who's smart enough to live right and to present themselves right? That's why I argue with these people so much about them editing my videos and changing my voice and so on and so forth. Okay? Because one must make it clear to other people that they live a righteous life and that they're propounding that you should do the same. Conformity to any culture that is allowed is not doing that. If you conform to being a skater, you're an idiot. A jock, a rapper, a thug, a gangster, a corporate person. Okay? A sorority, rock and roll person, rocks, and on and on and on. Conservative, libertarian, Democrat, okay? And you're a fucking idiot. You call that courage or just conforming to the crowd to survive? We see the movie Last Samurai. We see Jesus, the greatest story ever told. We see the movie 300. What was a recurring theme that a little kid could even tell you? It's fighting to the death for what you believe. Now, what do you believe? Is your complex or is it moral precision? Universal pinpoint and moral precision. You see what I'm saying? So, when we say, hey, these sorority chicks, who are they listening to? They're listening to a bunch of white guys, Jews, token minorities, LGBT people in suits. Now, I'm not trying to bash anyone in this video. I am a little bit upset about it. I'm sabotaged, poisoned, and fumed. But I'm right. Okay? They should not be listening to these people. They should be listening to me. When Allison Mack and Keith Rainier abused all those people, why did they listen to them? They listened to them because of their corporate connections, because they knew a bunch of people in suits, because the money and the conformity. They followed the crowd. Truly, I tell you, every corporation, every major corporation will say, is a variation of a sex cult. There's a sexual culture. There's certain expectations. There is materialism derived and sex derived, right? The erotic desire inspiring outfits, right? Quite often we'll see some kind of cleavage or some kind of body, some kind of clothes that emphasize body parts a certain way to inspire erotic desire, and psychologists and fashion designers work together to create this effect, social engineers, etc. We see the heels that were worn by the butchers in Rome, right? Her and Her, Charm and Harm, Broke Your Heart, Love Struck, you know what I'm saying? And they're also worn by prostitutes in Rome. So being a corporate woman is a form of prostituting yourself, not just to other gods, right? Money is a god, Mammon, right? Beelzebul, Asmodeus, lust, and so on and so on. Not just the demonology, demons, and the devil, but prostituting yourself to other ideas and cultures than God's culture, God's true demands. They're whores. You see what I'm saying? And they even had the extreme, in their culture, the extreme lack of respect for God, where they knew Ra is a word that means God specifically. He's depicted as a son, but he's considered the main God. So in their language, they made Ra the word for evil. And they said that Ra is the word for the Egyptian king of the gods, right? One true God, where the rest are his sons and some go astray. Similar to the Bible, where Psalm 82, they say they're gods with a little g. Okay. They also use the word whore, or God's top martial artist son, to being whore. And how are they shaped? They're shaped like me before they added the fluff, right, to a large degree, right? Tall a lot of times, you know, the legs going on here. Obviously, my legs aren't like that, but bear with me, okay? And they're shaped like my female counterpart, my twin sister, stripper, right? And they do moves that are similar to martial arts. Sometimes they do splits, they do kick-like movements, and so on and so forth, okay? Because the culture that is the core of Western culture is a Roman cult culture. Especially as someone born in the West and someone victimized by it. Don't you all think that I have the right to say that that culture is fucking evil? That they're whoring women? That they're causing 9 million people to starve to death in the world while they play stupid? That's their governance. Acting like the word geopolitics is an invalid concept and a non-existent word. Acting like proxy governments and puppet dictators don't exist. When you look at it, a lot of people say, we all know these things, okay? But you don't know why to be moral. Why to die for morality rather than live. No matter how much you go to church, where the Bible is pointing to a lot of ideas that will lead you to this conclusion, you don't do it. You see 300 and Last Samurai and all these movies like this, and you don't do it. You don't understand why the martyr path is the only sane path. The world is evil. Truly, I tell you, the occult ideas like vampires are made after the common person in the world. Someone who sold their soul. It's vamp-airy. Airy meaning Haro Aries, the son of God, Horus, the son of God whose right eye is the sun, the left eye is the moon, okay? The eyes in general, the eye of the falcon, the eye of the leopard on the tree looking down intensely. Okay, you don't understand why to be moral. And some people don't understand that I'm right to make tons of videos even though I don't have that many views. Why? Part of it is more repetition. You can tell by how I say it and looking bad when I say it. Admitting things like I'm in my parents' house and attractive women shun me. I've humbled myself and walked with God. If God was to manifest other than me right here in an apparition or something, I would have nothing to be ashamed of. I'm doing the right thing. I'm true of heart. I can stand in the presence of God. My thoughts, my natural thoughts are not detestable. God forged me to convey morals. People don't understand why they shouldn't argue with me about who's superior to who. Because these are the principles of superiority that only I embody. Moral precision, focused moral intensity, a transcendent loyalty to God, transcending all the cultures that's allowed, refusing to be subdued by the spirit of the LGBT community, white supremacy in the world. You people have not accomplished that. I'm not cheating anybody out of the right to lead. Everyone else is. And my parents are blameless. So, only I can stand before God. Everyone else is too arrogant. Everyone else is in the spirit of rebellion. When God manifested in me, and when I was born, and I started to develop, and I came to this point, you decided not to obey God through me. So how can you say that the principles of God, the characteristics of God that are only in me? What do you think, they're in Bill Gates, Joe Biden? They're only in me. How can you say you're superior to that? It is not just me that you're saying you're superior to, but it's God. And you people die all the time in disgrace, going through the motions of putting yourself above God. And even if you don't believe in God, you're putting yourself above universal pinpoint and moral precision, righteousness, justice, the moral warrior spirit, mental clarity, the top martial artist. Because you're not fucking right in the head. And you would team up with mental health to pretend that I'm crazy. How fucking stupid is that?